how is it going? Today, let's look into some of the content that was cut from GTA games, and trust me, some of these will make you say, "Damn, I hope games have them." So let's start with a controversial one. There were going to be children in GTA 3. Yes, you heard that right. Children were supposed to appear in GTA 3 as pedestrians and possibly as mission characters as well. This would have been a huge departure from the previous GTA games, which only featured adults. Imagine driving around Liberty City and seeing kids playing on the streets, going to school, or hanging out with their parents. How would that affect the gameplay and the tone of the game? Children in GTA 3 would have worked similarly to other pedestrians, but with some differences. For example, they would have been immune to any damage from the player, meaning that you couldn't run them over, shoot them, or harm them in any way. They would also have been able to call the police if they witnessed any crimes, and they would have reacted differently to the player's actions, such as running away, crying, or begging for mercy. However, not everyone was on board with this idea. Some developers and testers felt that having children in GTA 3 would have been too disturbing and unrealistic, especially considering the violent and dark nature of the game. They argued that it would have ruined the immersion and the fun of the game, and that it would have caused a lot of controversy and backlash from the media and the public. They also pointed out some technical and ethical issues, such as how to handle the voice acting, the animations, and the legal implications of having minors in a mature-rated game. Ultimately, the decision was made to scrap the children from GTA 3, and they were never implemented in the game. The only traces of their existence are some leftover files and references in the game's code, such as a model named Kid and a sound file named Kid1. Some modders have tried to restore the children in GTA 3, but they have faced some difficulties and limitations, such as the lack of proper textures, sounds, and behaviors. This is justified because they probably didn't want any more controversy. The next interesting one is from GTA San Andreas, the Skateboards. They were supposed to be introduced to the player in the mission Mad Dog's Rhymes, where CJ would use a skateboard to escape from Mad Dog's mansion after stealing his rhyme book. Mad Dog's downhill driveway was even referred to as a skate track in the game files, suggesting that CJ would have to perform some tricks and stunts to get away. But sadly, skateboards were eventually cut from the game for unknown reasons. Some speculate that it was because skateboards didn't fit CJ's gangster persona, or that they were too hard to implement with the game's physics engine. Others think that Rockstar wanted to save skateboards for their later game, Bully, which featured skateboarding as a major gameplay element. Whatever the reason, skateboards were never seen in the final version of GTA San Andreas, except as a hidden weapon that can only be accessed by modding the game files. The skateboard weapon is fully functional and can be used to hit enemies or break objects. However, it cannot be ridden and has no animations or sounds. There is also a cut skater pedestrian who would have interacted with the skateboard, but his model and texture are gone, and only his voice lines remain. So, how would skateboards work if they were in the game? Well, based on the leftover data and the skateboarding mechanics from Bully, we can imagine that skateboards would have been similar to bicycles, but with more agility and less speed. CJ would have been able to ride skateboards on any flat surface and perform tricks like ollies, kickflips, grinds, and manuals. Skateboards would have also been useful for escaping from the cops or rival gangs, as CJ could have jumped over obstacles or slid under low bridges. Skateboards would have also added more variety and fun to the game, as CJ could have explored the map in a different way, or participated in skateboarding challenges and competitions. Skateboards would have also fit the 90s vibe of the game, as skateboarding was very popular in California at that time, especially in San Fierro, which was based on San Francisco, a famous skate city. That's why I don't see a reason to scrap them. Lamar was going to be a protagonist. This one is from GTA 5. Lamar Davis, Franklin's best friend and partner in crime, was originally supposed to be one of the 4 main protagonists of the game, along with Michael, Trevor, and Franklin. This was confirmed by Slink Johnson, the voice actor for Lamar, in a Q&A on Reddit. He said that Rockstar had planned to let players take Franklin's life and replace him with Lamar as a playable character, but they had to go in a different direction due to personal issues he was dealing with in real life. So, how would this work? Well, Lamar's role would have been much bigger and more involved in the main story. He would have had his own missions, heists, and special abilities, just like the other 3 characters. He would have also had more interactions and conflicts with Michael and Trevor, as well as other characters like Stretch, Tanisha, and Chop. So why was this idea cut? Well, as Slink Johnson said, It was mainly his personal problems that prevented him from working on the game as much as he wanted to. He also said that Rockstar had a lot of other ideas and content that they had to cut or change for various reasons, such as time, budget, or technical limitations. Some of these things include additional songs, fast food shops, side activities, weapons, vehicles, and more. Now, what do I think about this content? Well, I have mixed feelings about it. On one hand, I think it would have been awesome to play Lamar, because he is one of the funniest and most memorable characters in the game. He has a lot of personality, charisma, and humor, and he brings a lot of energy and excitement to the game. He also has a lot of potential as a character, as he is loyal, ambitious, and street smart, but also reckless, impulsive, and naive. He could have had a lot of character development and growth throughout the game, and he could have added a lot of diversity and variety to the gameplay. On the other hand, I think it would have been sad to lose Franklin as a playable character because he is also one of my favorite characters in the game. He is the most relatable and realistic character, as he is trying to make a better life for himself and get out of the hood. He is also the most balanced and versatile character, as he can handle any situation and adapt to any style of play. He also has a lot of connections and relationships with other characters, such as Michael, Trevor, Lester, Lamar, and others, and he plays a crucial role in the main story and the heists. He also has the coolest special ability, slow motion driving, which is very useful and fun to use. I think Lamar as a playable character would have been a very interesting and unique feature, but I also think Franklin as a playable character is very important and enjoyable. I think Rockstar made a good decision by keeping Franklin as one of the main protagonists, but I also wish they could have found a way to include Lamar more in the game, maybe as a DLC or an expansion. I think that would have been the best of both worlds. Remember, there were 8 unreleased DLCs for GTA 5. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Would you have liked to play as Lamar in GTA 5? Moving on, GTA San Andreas casinos. As you may know, GTA San Andreas is set in the early 1990s, and one of the 3 cities that you can visit in the game is Las Venturas, a fictional version of Las Vegas. Las Venturas is famous for its casinos, where you can gamble your money on various games such as blackjack, roulette, slot machines, video poker, and Wheel of Fortune. You can also take part in some casino-related missions, such as robbing the Caligula's casino with your allies, or helping the Four Dragons casino fend off the rival Sindaco family. But did you know that in the alpha version of the game, you could actually own and manage your own casino? That's right. According to some unused files and code in the game, the developers originally intended for the player to have their own personal casino, where they could set the rules, the games, the security, and the profits. This feature was probably inspired by the real-life casino tycoons of Las Vegas, such as Steve Wynn, Sheldon Adelson, and Kirk Kerkorian, who built and ran some of the most famous and luxurious casinos in the world. There are several unused casino interiors in the game files, such as the Royal Casino, the Pirates in Men's Pants, and the Visage, which could have been potential candidates for the player's casino. Once the player bought a casino, they would have access to a management menu where they could customize various aspects of their casino, such as the name and logo of the casino, the types and number of games available, the minimum and maximum bets for each game, the payout rates and odds for each game, the security level and staff of the casino, the marketing and advertising strategies of the casino, the entrance fee and dress code for the casino, the VIP and loyalty programs for the casino. The player would also have to deal with some challenges and risks. The competition from other casinos, the demand and satisfaction of the customers, the reputation and rating of the casino. Anyone would be able to earn money from their casino, depending on the performance and profitability of their casino. The player would also be able to visit their casino and play the games themselves or interact with the customers and staff. The player would also be able to hire and fire employees such as dealers, croupiers, bouncers, waiters, and entertainers. The player would also be able to upgrade and expand their casino by adding more games, facilities, decorations, and attractions. So why was this feature cut from the game? The thing is that the feature was too complex and ambitious for the game engine and hardware limitations of the time. The feature was too time-consuming and costly to develop and test, and it was also too risky and controversial for the game rating and censorship issues of the time. Whatever the reason, it is a shame that this feature was never implemented in the game, as it would have added a lot of depth, variety, and fun to the game experience. Imagine being able to create your own casino empire and compete with the likes of Salvatore Leone, Woozy, and Ken Rosenberg. Personally, I would have loved to see this feature in the game, as I think it would have been a great way to express your creativity and personality and to make some extra money in the game. I think it would have been a unique and innovative feature that would have set GTA San Andreas apart from other GTA games and other open-world games in general. I think it would have been a lot of fun to create and run your own casino, and to see how it would affect the game world and the game story. Also, there was going to be a first-person mode for GTA Vice City. Yes, you heard that right. GTA Vice City, the game that is known for its third-person perspective and cinematic camera angles, was originally going to have a first-person mode that would let you see the world of Vice City through the eyes of Tommy Vercetti. How cool would that be? But how do we know that this feature was planned? Well, there are some clues in the game files and the official strategy guide that suggest that the developers experimented with this idea. For example, in the game files, there is a file called firstperson.dat that contains some parameters for the first-person camera, such as the field of view, the head bobbing, and the weapon positions. There is also a file called firstperson.ini that lists some key bindings for the first-person mode, such as toggling it on and off, zooming in and out, and switching weapons. Additionally, in the official strategy guide, there is a screenshot of the game that shows the first-person view of Tommy driving a car. The screenshot is labeled first-person view, and it has a caption that says, "You can switch to a first-person view at any time by pressing the appropriate button. This view is especially useful when driving or flying." This screenshot is the only one of its kind in the whole guide, and it does not match the actual gameplay of the final version. So, how would this first-person mode work in GTA Vice City? Well, based on the game files in the screenshot, we can assume that it would be similar to the first-person mode that was added to GTA 5 in the Enhanced Edition. You would be able to toggle it on and off with a button, and you would be able to see everything from Tommy's perspective, including his hands, his weapons, and his interactions with the environment. You would also be able to zoom in and out with the right stick and switch weapons with the D-pad. The first-person mode would be available in both on-foot and vehicle sections, and it would offer a more immersive and realistic experience of the game. But why was this feature cut from the final version of GTA Vice City? Well, there are several possible reasons for this decision. One reason could be that the first-person mode was too buggy or unstable, and it caused some glitches or crashes in the game. Another reason could be that the first-person mode was too difficult or disorienting for some players, and it made the game less fun or accessible. A third reason could be that the first-person mode did not fit well with the overall style and tone of GTA Vice City, which was heavily inspired by the 80s movies and TV shows that used the third. Of course, these are just some speculations, and we may never know the exact reason why the first-person mode was scrapped. However, we can still appreciate the fact that the developers tried something new and innovative with GTA Vice City, and that they left some traces of their experiments in the game files and the strategy guide. So, what do you think about the first-person mode in GTA Vice City? Would you have liked it or not? Personally, I think it would have been a cool option to have, and I would have enjoyed seeing the game from a different perspective. However, I also understand that the first-person mode may not have suited the game very well, and that the third-person mode was more appropriate for the game's theme and atmosphere. Technology wasn't ready for it. Moving on. You might be surprised to learn that GTA 5 was originally supposed to have way more weapons than it actually has, but many of them were scrapped for various reasons. Let's take a look at some of the cut weapons and how they would have worked in the game. First, we have the programmable AR, a smart gun that was based on the XM25 grenade launcher. This weapon would have allowed you to program the distance at which the grenades would explode, making it very effective against enemies behind cover. However, this weapon was probably cut because it was too overpowered and unrealistic for the game's tone. Next, we have the Assault MG, a light machine gun based on the HK-21. This weapon would have been similar to the Combat MG, but with a higher rate of fire and a larger magazine. However, this weapon was probably cut because it was too similar to the existing LMGs and would have made them redundant. Another cut weapon is the Assault Sniper, a semi-automatic sniper rifle inspired by the M110. This weapon would have been a hybrid between the sniper rifle and the marksman rifle, offering a balance between accuracy and fire rate. However, this weapon was probably cut because it was too versatile and would have overshadowed the other sniper rifles. Finally, we have the heavy rifle, a powerful assault rifle modeled after the SCAR. This weapon would have been a rival to the advanced rifle, but with more damage and recoil. However, this weapon was probably cut because it was too similar to the bullpup rifle and would have cluttered the weapon wheel. There were also some other weapons that were cut from the game, such as the laser sight attachment, the rubber bullet gun, the megaphone, the lasso, and some melee weapons like the fire axe, the shovel, and the wrench. So, why did Rockstar Games decide to cut these weapons from the game? One is that they wanted to limit the number of weapons in the game to make it easier to balance and manage. Another is that they wanted to make the game more realistic and grounded, and some of the cut weapons were too silly or futuristic for the game's setting. And finally, some of the cut weapons were probably replaced by other weapons that were more suitable or unique for the game. Personally, I think that some of the cut weapons would have been cool to see in the game, especially the programmable AR and the assault sniper. However, I also understand why Rockstar Games decided to remove them, and I think that the game still has a great variety of weapons to choose from. What do you guys think? Would you have liked to see these cut weapons in the game, or are you happy with the weapons that we have? One more feature that was removed from GTA 5 was body change. If you've played GTA San Andreas, you might remember that CJ's body shape and appearance could change depending on his diet, exercise, and lifestyle. For example, if he ate a lot of fast food, he would become fat and slow. If he worked out at the gym, he would become muscular and strong. If he got tattoos and haircuts, he would look more stylish and intimidating. This feature was supposed to return in GTA 5 with the three protagonists, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. Each of them would have their own body stats, such as weight, muscle, stamina, and health. These stats would affect their performance and abilities in the game, as well as their interactions with other characters. For example, if Michael were overweight, he would have less stamina and health, but more strength and damage resistance. He would also have different dialogue options and reactions from NPCs, such as being mocked or insulted for his size. If Franklin were muscular, he would have more speed and agility, but less stealth and accuracy. He would also attract more attention from women and gang members, who would either flirt with him or challenge him. If Trevor were skinny, he would have more endurance and reflexes, but less power and durability. He would also look more crazy and unstable, which would scare or anger some people. The body change feature would work by having the player choose what to eat, drink, and do in the game. There would be different types of food and beverages, such as burgers, salads, soda, water, alcohol, and drugs. Each of them would have different effects on the body stats, as well as the mood and behavior of the characters. There would also be different activities and hobbies, such as running, swimming, biking, yoga, golf, tennis, shooting, and fighting. Each of them would also have different impacts on the body stats, as well as the skills and reputation of the characters. The body change feature was intended to add more realism, variety, and customization to the game. It would also create more opportunities for gameplay, storytelling, and humor. However, it was eventually cut from the final version of GTA 5 for several possible reasons. One reason could be the technical limitations and difficulties of implementing such a feature. GTA 5 is a huge and complex game, with many elements and details to consider. Having the body change feature would require a lot of work and resources, such as creating different models, animations, sounds, and scripts for each character and scenario. It would also require a lot of testing and debugging to ensure that everything works smoothly and consistently. It might have been too much of a challenge or a risk for the developers, especially considering the deadlines and expectations they had to meet. Another reason could be the artistic and creative decisions of the developers. GTA 5 is a game that focuses more on the story and the characters than the gameplay and customization. The three protagonists have their own personalities, backgrounds, and motivations, which are essential to the plot and the themes of the game. Having the body change feature might have interfered with the narrative and the tone of the game by making the characters less consistent and coherent. It might have also reduced the impact and significance of some events and scenes by making them less dramatic or meaningful. Also, I think GTA 5 is a game that appeals to a wide and diverse audience with different tastes and opinions. Some players might have liked the body change feature and found it fun and immersive. Others might have disliked it and found it annoying and tedious. Some players might have wanted more control and freedom over their characters, while others might have wanted more guidance and direction. The developers might have decided to cut the feature to avoid alienating or frustrating some of their fans and to ensure that the game is enjoyable and accessible for everyone. So, what do you think of the body change feature? Would you have liked it or not? Do you think it was a good or bad idea to cut it from GTA 5? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos on GTA. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.